Here's what happens when you sell fake hall passes for 2 weeks at school. This kid Tyler was running an entire business. He'd been selling hall passes for basically anybody that wanted to skip class. $5 a pop. The passes, they looked legit as well. Official watermark, teacher signatures, the whole deal. Everyone thought he had some kind of connection to the front office, and he wouldn't sell too many at one time because he didn't want the school to get suspicious, so it was a limited supply he would sell per month. Well, this quiet girl named Maya, hi, I'm Maya. She'd been watching this whole thing go down for weeks. She never said anything, she just observed. Well, one day, she sees Tyler drop one of the passes on the ground. So she picks it up, looks at it for a second, and then puts it in her pocket. Now, she wasn't going to say anything about it. She's like, this is none of my business, let him do what he's doing. Well, the next day, Tyler tries to sell her a hall pass. No thanks, I'm okay. But then Tyler starts clowning her in front of the whole class. You're such a teacher's pet. You too scared to get one of these? Well, here's what Tyler didn't know. Maya's mom literally works for the school office, and she's the one that designs all official school documents. So Maya knows exactly what a real hall pass looks like, down to the specific font and paper stock. Now, like I said, she wasn't gonna snitch on him. But now, she is. She takes the hall pass that she found, goes to the principal, and breaks down everything wrong with it. The font is off, the signature's been traced, and this is the wrong paper. This is basic paper from Staples. Principal takes a few days to investigate, pulls up some security footage, and catches Tyler selling these hall passes multiple times. Tyler got a 2-week suspension, and Maya didn't say a word about it to anybody. Nobody knew she snitched. She just went right back to being quiet. That's why you gotta be careful who you disrespect. Somebody might ruin you. Here's what happens when your coach smashes your phone. This school's basketball coach was pretty intense. All right, huddle up, everybody. Time for team talk. It was one day after practice, and everybody was huddled up by the coach for like a regroup thing. But this kid named Johnny was on his phone. Hey, Johnny, come on, man! This is team huddle! Give me your phone right now! Johnny hands it over, thinking he's just gonna get a lecture. Fine. Coach takes the phone, walks straight into the equipment room, and slams the door. And then, everybody hears it. The sound of smashing, cracking, screaming from the coach. Johnny's stomach drops. His phone was brand new. His parents saved up for 3 months to get it for him for his birthday. He's shaking. He's almost crying. The coach walks back out, holding a mangled piece of metal and glass. Here's what happens when you're not paying attention, kid. Johnny notices something immediately. The mangled phone was way too light. He flips it over and realizes it's not even real. It's a dummy phone from the school drama department. Your real phone's in my office. Maybe now you'll lock in during team time, okay? From that day on, Johnny left his phone far away in the locker during practice. Dude, that coach is kinda awesome. Have you ever wondered how some parents can be so cruel? There was this family where the dad had a rule for everything. No phones at the dinner table. No friends over without a 48-hour notice. Bedtime at 9 p.m. sharp, even on weekends, no exceptions. And his teenage daughter had to keep a handwritten log of what she did every single hour of every single day. And if you don't do it, you're in big trouble. Which is completely insane. Well, one day, this girl forgot to log what she did after school, and her dad completely loses his mind. Takes her phone, her laptop, her journals, her books, and her TV, everything she enjoys, and he locks them in the garage. You can have them back when you write me an apology letter. Well, she wrote one. Not good enough, do it again. Then she wrote another one. Not good enough, do it again. She did it like 30 or 40 times before she just gave up. She never gets her stuff back, and the dad doesn't budge. He keeps saying, I told you, write me an acceptable apology and you get it back. But nothing was ever good enough for him. After this girl turned 18, she never spoke to her father ever again. And I think she's way better off. That's messed up. The school store only opened on Fridays. Why is it closed 4 days a week? Budget. Convenience. Whenever somebody asked, they basically just told him to shut up. Well, this kid had a genius idea. He went to Costco, like most of my stories begin, and he bought a bunch of stuff. Everything that the school store sold. But he bought them in bulk, and he brought it to school. And he began running a school store out of his locker every single day. Chips, candy, drinks, the exact same brands as the school. Bro, how do you have all that? Costco. And his locker was in the band hallway, so it was separate from all the regular kids, if you will. And hey, that's not an insult. I was a band kid myself. But he sold these items for cheaper than what the school sold them for. And business immediately began booming. The band hallway was bumping every day. People were lining up, just hanging out around him. He had a very strict discretion rule where keep us in the DL. If you snitch, I'm gonna have my buddy hunt you down and beat you up. And I'll do it too. And he would do it too. But the thing is, nobody snitched. This kid's moving volume. That first week was legendary. Well, Friday hits and the school opens up their store, but nobody's there. There's no line, there's nobody waiting, nothing. The lady running it's like, what is happening? And it stayed like that for a while. Eventually, an investigation was launched and the principal called this kid into the office. You've been running an unauthorized business. No, it's free market competition. You're undercutting school pricing. With respect, sir, you guys were overcharging and I'm providing students with actual affordable value. But you can't sell food on campus. Then why can't the school? Because we have these safe, good brands. I have the same brands bought from Costco. He gave the kid attention that day, but the kid didn't stop. He kept his business moving. It was this battle between the school and this kid. Eventually, the school got tired of this and they decided to lower the school prices to 10 cents cheaper than the prices this kid was selling at. Well, the kid was happy. I'm retiring. He retires. A freaking hallway legend. He was the guy that made the school lower their prices, and the school even opened up from Wednesday to Friday now. And to that, my friends, I say, you gotta respect the hustle. You ever wonder why schools randomly ban like hot Cheetos or Takis? There's always a reason, and at this one school, that reason was, let's call him Marcus, the 7th grade snack kingpin. Marcus had snacks. He was running an entire operation. Backpack loaded like a frickin' vending machine. Takis, Sour Patch, mini Gatorades, all marked up 200%, and people bought them. Business was absolutely booming. And it wasn't just him in this operation. He had runners. Kids in different grades moving products between different classes. He would even bring backup hoodies to school. He would change them throughout the day, so security cameras would think it's different people doing different things. He made enough money in 3 months to buy 2 pairs of brand new Jordans. Never used Venmo, only cash. But here's how he got caught. One of his runners sold Capri Sun to a diabetic kid and told him it was sugar-free, which is absolutely messed up. The kid's blood sugar spiked, the nurses got involved. The school asked him where he got it from, and this kid spilled. The entire operation crumbled. Marcus was suspended for 1 week. School banned all sorts of snacks. After that, it was like this business operation never existed. But if you went into the boys' bathroom, in stall number 3, written in small letters on the door, was the snack prices. You gotta respect the hustle. When he was 7, he did something so dumb. It was a public swimming pool. Family locker room, wet floors, benches everywhere. This kid's in there and he notices something sitting under a bench. What is it? It's a thumbtack, just sitting there. Nobody was around, nobody was paying attention. Instead of picking this up and throwing it away, he takes it and places it pointy side up right in the middle of the floor. Then he goes away. About 30 minutes pass. Families keep moving in and out of the locker room, bare feet, and he starts to think to himself, maybe that was a bad idea. Maybe somebody could get hurt. So he goes back in, but he's way too late. Oh no. Oh, Mom, I'm bleeding. A kid had stepped right on it, and his foot was bleeding. Oh my God, what a horrible person would do something like this. The kid never said a word. He just stood there, panicking internally. You'll be okay, son. Whoever did this is a complete and utter idiot. I mean, yeah, that's pretty messed up. Secret Santa Day. Rule, you pick a name, you don't say the name you picked. Teacher's walking around with a basket. Everyone picks a name. All right, pick and shh. Pick and shh. Good. Pick and shh. After everybody picked, this one girl asked another girl, who'd you get? And for some reason, this girl completely forgets the whole point of this. And she says, I picked Tyler. And this is where this all just crumbles. Tyler's head shoots up. What? Kayla's my Secret Santa? Dude, I'm cooked. She's gonna give me a horrible gift. Well, who do you have? I got Billy. Nice. At this point, the whole system collapses. Everyone's telling each other who they got. And then the teacher got mad, and then everyone else got mad, and they blamed it on the original girl, Kayla, who said she had Tyler. So if it wasn't for her, this might have gone smoothly. But it didn't. Hey, happy holidays. This would happen across the school every single day. Different classrooms, different floors, but every day at exactly 12:17 p.m., Can I use the bathroom? 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 Nothing suspicious. Not really a pattern that these teachers could put together very easily because, like I said, they were each in a different classroom. But here's what nobody knew. At the far end of the school, in the quiet bathroom nobody ever uses, these kids would go and run full-blown underground Beyblade battles. Every day after they released from the classroom, they would sprint to this bathroom. And when they would get there, they would let it frickin' rip. They had a few of those classic plastic Beyblade arenas, and they were just going to town. They would put money on it as well. Come on, I got $20 on this. You're totally gonna lose, bro. Milk. Doesn't that sound frickin' awesome? They had a blast. I would love this. Well, more and more people were kind of told about this, and more students began joining. And eventually it became this kind of thing. They were caught and shut down forever. But nobody forgot about that. The random bathroom Beyblade battles at 12:17 p.m. every day. That's awesome. This class did not want to take this test, so they faked a police phone call. Senior year was advanced chemistry. Only 13 students in this class. It's test day. Everybody's stressed, so they come up with a plan. Before the test starts, the valedictorian raises his hand. Can I go to the bathroom really quick, please? Boom, he's allowed to go. Instead of the bathroom, he goes to this old private stairwell, and he calls the front office. Hi, this is Officer Johnson from the police department. I need to talk to the chemistry teacher, please. The front office panics, calls the teacher down. Oh, okay. Be back, students. The teacher grabs the keys, leaves the room. The second he's gone, the class moves around like a pit crew. They blow up balloons. They pull out a grocery store birthday cake. Streamers. Party hats on everybody. Full birthday setup in under 2 minutes. Meanwhile, in the office, hello? Blah, 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 Mickey Mouse. And he sprints back to the classroom. The teacher then walks back into the classroom. They all shout, surprise! Happy birthday! The teacher is then like, that is so nice, but it's not my birthday. But it didn't matter. The cake gets cut, everyone eats it, and the test gets postponed 1 week. That is absolutely brilliant. When she was in second grade, her older sister got glasses, and instantly she wanted a pair of glasses as well. So she told her parents,
I can't see the board at school.
So they take her to the eye doctor. He does a test, and she's pretending like she can't see. 2 minutes in, he says, yeah, she's lying. She can see fine. But her parents still believed her, and they're like, no, you better give her some glasses. He writes a prescription, and just like that, a week later, her glasses are ready. At first, she loved them, even though she couldn't really see in them because, well, she lied during that test. But she loved the frames, she loved the attention she was getting, but she kept wearing them for years. And her eyes kept adjusting to the prescription, and the prescription kept getting stronger and stronger. We'll flash forward 10 years, and now every day, she wears a pair of the thickest glasses because she actually can barely see without them now. And she's pretty sure it's because back in second grade, she lied when taking the eye test, and she ruined her eyesight forever. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. In 8th grade, this art teacher had a locked cabinet in the back of the room. It was kind of mysterious. She never talked about it. But once a week, she would go back there, unlock it, take out a small handful of things, and walk away. Kids would whisper, wondering what's inside. Is it expensive paints? Ancient artifacts? Animals? Well, one semester, this student named Riley was picked to stay after school one day to help clean some stuff up. The teacher leaves the room for 5 minutes, and that cabinet key is just sitting there on the desk. So he opens it slow and carefully.
Opening it slow and carefully.
Inside were stacks and stacks of goldfish cracker boxes. No art supplies, no ancient masterpieces, just enough frickin' goldfish crackers to feed a small country. When the teacher comes back in, Riley asks, "Cabinet goldfish! Why?" "Oh, it's my favorite snack. I take one handful per class.
And I just munch on them. I love them."
It was just her own personal snack cabinet. Who would have thought? The first week of school, the vending machines in the hallway were out of order, but one student realized that they weren't broken. The school just wasn't letting anybody use them. "Sorry kids, they're fixing them next month. No snacks." "No snacks? Oh man." But one day, this junior named Derek saw one of the janitors unlock the machine with this tiny round key. Well, he recognized this silver key. It was the same kind of key his dad used for his padlocks at work. Well, that night, Derek dug through the junk drawers at his house, looking for these keys, and he found about 5 of them. Yes. Yes. The next day, during the passing period, he went to the vending machines. He put the first key in, and it unlocked. Apparently, it was the most basic of these keys, and it worked. He opened it up just enough to grab one snack and put it in his backpack. Well, this gave him a brilliant idea. By the end of the week, he had gone into that vending machine multiple times and only took out the most popular, most tasty snacks. And because these vending machines had been broken for so long, nobody really noticed, and there weren't any cameras in the hallway. Well, he would take these popular snacks and he would sell them for double the price of what the vending machine would have sold them for. Yo, bro, you always have the best snacks. Where do you get them? Don't worry about it, Chief. Don't worry about it. By the time the school fixed the vending machines, Derek had made a good chunk of change, and nobody ever realized that those snacks were taken. Now that is crazy, and you gotta respect the hustle. This school sold popcorn every Friday. Plain, no butter, no seasoning, just small, sad bags for $1. Well, one day, this kid Tyler shows up with a frickin' plan. He brings a small lunchbox to lunch, and inside, dozens of mini popcorn seasoning shakers. Ranch, nacho cheese, cinnamon sugar, literally anything. Hey, yo, can I use that, man? Totally, homie. $0.25 per shake. Now, at first, people thought this was kind of ridiculous. $0.25 for one shake of popcorn seasoning? But once people started trying it, it was game frickin' over. He would stand on top of the lunch tables, shaking seasonings into people's popcorn bags while kids are sliding and throwing him quarters. It was kind of bussin'. And Tyler wouldn't just stop there. If somebody was broke, he would say, I season it for you now, you bring me $0.25 tomorrow. Or else, I'm writing your name down. I don't forget. By the end of the month, all the popcorn was seasoned to perfection thanks to Tyler. One day, Tyler is counting out $20 in quarters when the principal comes up to him and says, we do not run seasoning businesses in this lunchroom. You're done. And he was shut down. You gotta respect the hustle, though. Okay, listen to this. At this school, the water bottles in the cafeteria were sold for $3, but they were small and always warm. The only other option was the water fountains in the hallways, and those were absolutely disgusting.
Oh my god, it's green? That's disgusting.
The spouts were green, the water came out warm, and every time it tasted like pennies. That's when this dude named Ryan showed up with a plan. One day, he walks into school with a giant cooler bag and 2 of those big water jugs that were used to refill bottles.
Cold water, 50 cents to fill your bottle.
Well, turns out most kids didn't have a water bottle. So what Ryan did was he stopped charging people to fill their waters and instead sold reusable water bottles himself for $3 each. The second you bought a water bottle, you were in the system and you could get your water filled. Pretty soon, Ryan set up at lunch with 4 water jugs in this giant cooler bag and he's refilling everybody's water bottle. Kids, teachers, everybody. People were skipping the nasty water fountains and going straight for Ryan's ice-cold filtered water. And months later, by the time the school had actually replaced the water fountains with nicer ones, Ryan had made $400. And the entire school was carrying around the water bottles that he sold. What a genius. You gotta respect the hustle. This Spanish teacher had a rule. If you forget your pencil, you would have to borrow one from her supply cup and pay her back with a brand new one the next day. But she would always make sure to embarrass you because of it. Well, look who's unprepared again today. Little baby Kyle boy. All right, here, you can have a pencil, but bring me back the new one. Okay?
What's wrong with you?
Well, this kid named Marcus shows up to school one day with a bag full of sharpened, brand new pencils. And he would sell them. One pencil, 50 cents. No need to pay the teacher back with a brand new pencil the next day, and no public shaming. So that's kind of a win. Pretty soon it's not just the Spanish class he is selling to. He made little flyers and he passed them around the school. And pretty soon people were texting him, ordering pencils. Whenever they forgot one, he was the guy they would go to. Just 50 cents. Well, it got popular. Business was booming. So he upped his game a little bit. He had a premium package with the highest quality mechanical pencils you could imagine. He bought them in bulk, so they were pretty cheap, and he would charge $2 per mechanical pencil. And people were buying those as well. He was selling out every time. Eventually, Marcus had an incredibly loyal customer base and a bunch of single-dollar bills in a shoebox under his bed. You gotta respect Marcus, and you gotta respect the hustle. One day in history class, this teacher just frickin' lost it. He'd been on edge all week about kids' backpacks being in the aisles. He kept tripping over them. If I see one more backpack sticking out, we're gonna have a frickin' problem. Well, the next day, he sees one. He stops teaching and says this. All right, every one of you, backpacks in front of my desk right now. People are confused, but they start dragging him up and leaving their backpacks in front of his desk. Then he stands up, goes to the first backpack, unzips it, and then dumps the entire thing on the floor. Books, homework, snacks all fall out into this one messy pile. Yo, dude, that's my stuff. What are you doing? Shut your mouth. And one by one, he goes down the line, dumping out everybody's stuff into the same pile. Hey, what are you doing? You think I'm kidding? You think this is some frickin' joke? By the end, there's a mountain of student stuff covering half the classroom floor. Some kid takes a picture. Parents start calling the school before the day's even over. And the next morning, there's a substitute in his seat. Apparently, that was the last straw. And that teacher was fired. Hey, that's kinda messed up. The locker was jammed. 3 different kids tried the combo. It wasn't working. A teacher comes up, tries to figure it out, nothing. That's when one sophomore stands there, looks, and says, "Step aside." He doesn't even glance at the paper that has the combo on it. He just stares at the lock for a second, pulls out a paper clip, and goes to town. Boom. First try, it opens. Oh my god, finally, thank you. That was actually awesome, dude. Now, this was the first day of school, so the hallways were hectic. Everyone trying to get in their lockers. There's books, papers, book bags everywhere. Well, he just turns around and says, "Anybody else?" 5 minutes later, he's walking the halls like some kind of locksmithing expert. He's opening jammed lockers left and right, even helping teachers open their cabinets. Jammed? There you go. Jammed? There you go. He quickly became the locker guy. Turns out his older brother and his dad had their own locksmithing company, so he literally grew up opening locks. No rules broken, no locks damaged, just a nice guy helping people out. And you gotta respect it. One Saturday morning, this kid's at a grocery store with his mom. They shop a bit, and now they're in the cashier line. "Oh, sweetie, I forgot to get a gallon of milk. Can you go get one for me, please?" "Sure, Mom." It's a simple job, so he goes, he gets the milk, and he's jogging back to the cashier. Well, right when he gets there, he trips, the jug falls out of his hand, and the milk spills everywhere. No. Under carts, onto shoes, people are so mad, he has no idea how to respond to this. This kid has anxiety. So what he does is he gets down on all fours, and he tries to scoop it up. But why would that work? He has nowhere to put it. Then this kid freaks out and he tries to lick it off the floor like he's a freaking house cat. His mom was so stunned she couldn't even speak. Finally, this old guy came over. He had a mop. "Kid, move. I'll clean the milk." Mom was so embarrassed she didn't even buy anything. She left all of her items at the belt and she left the store with her kid. That's wild. Genius. So this kid had leftover candy from Halloween. Suckers, sweets, stuff like that. And at first he brought a little bag to school to share with his friends. But then other kids started asking, "Yo, let me get a little taste. Do you have that ding dong?" More and more kids started asking him for his candy or his treats. So he flips a switch and turned it into a business. He calls it the 25-cent store. Every item's a quarter. Well, he makes about $50 in a week. So he reinvests this money. He goes to the dollar store. He buys bags and bags of candy and brings it back to school. He raises prices and he keeps selling. Alright, brand new inventory, but this time it's 75 cents each. But it's worth it, I promise. And still, he sells out. From that batch, he ends up making $144. And he's not done. He still has more product. And he plans to invest this money. But then a teacher comes up to him. "Excuse me, why are kids handing you quarters?" Hi. That's what I thought. That teacher shut him down. It was over. The thing is, it was a harmless business, and people actually liked this service. Teachers just don't like kids to succeed these days, huh? Warfare at the winter dance. At this one school, there was this kid named Evan. Yo, quiet, organized, he got straight A's. And this year, he finally had this big job. He was gonna plan the entire winter dance. And this guy had ideas. Lighting cues, playlist drafts, themed decorations. He had a binder filled with these ideas. He presents his ideas to the student government. So, what do you think? And this one girl named Kelsey grabs the binder, thrifts through it, and goes, "Yeah, no. This is ugly." Then she throws it straight into the trash can. "You're done. I'll be taking it from here." And she does. She takes over everything. And Evan gets pushed to the side like an unpaid intern. He's very upset. The only thing Evan was allowed to do was run the technical side of things that night. And that included the fog machines. Fog machines that basically run on a water-based formula. Fog machines sit on the table, unguarded. So Evan shows up to the dance. Second it starts, he goes by the fog machines. He opens all of the tanks, and he dumps a full bottle of pure peppermint extract into each of the fog machine tanks. The second the lights go down, he turns every fog machine to max. Dancing starts, the DJ's playing the tunes, the fog was beginning to thicken, and before you know it, the gym turns into a pure peppermint hurricane.
My eyes.
Kids coughing, eyes burning, teachers screaming. The principal's like, chemical leak! Everyone get out! The fire alarm gets pulled, the dance evacuates. And now half the school is standing outside in the freezing cold.
Who did this? This was my dance.
Evan, crazy enough, didn't try to hide it.
Yeah, but it was my dance first.
Evan wasn't suspended. He was expelled. When the janitors cleaned the gym the next day, the peppermint was still so strong they all had to wear goggles. And the smell lingered in that gym for literal years. That is insane. The school made an announcement. Redesign the school logo and turn it in. The winner's logo gets to be the official logo. Every art kid in the school goes feral. People busted out their iPads, sketchbooks. They're working really hard on trying to create this new school logo. But then there's Evan, Shibby. Evan doesn't care. His friend dared him to make something and turn it in. So Evan designs the dumbest thing that he could think of. A circle with a weird-looking bird inside of it that looks like it's mid-sneeze. That's so dumb. Here, he submits it. A week later, the principal gets on the school intercom. We have chosen our new school logo. Everyone report to the gym. Everyone goes to the gym. Everyone's eager to see whose logo made it. They did a countdown. 3, 2, 1. And then they projected it. It's Evan's frickin' doodle. The bird, the circle, the sneeze. The whole gym goes dead silent. And then everybody erupts. Oh, bro's a genius. Yo, Evan cooked. Make him class president. Teachers are clapping. They print it out on shirts. It's being sold at the sports games. It's on the website. It's on the gym floor. This logo is everywhere. And Evan becomes an absolute frickin' legend. I'm a frickin' legend. This kid ran a pop-up shop in his school. Not every day, not on a schedule, just randomly. One week he would show up with bags of candy. Next week he would have a pair of shoes he outgrew, and some Pokemon cards. One week he had a Bluetooth speaker, 2 Jimmy John subs he didn't eat that he got the day before, a Labubu, a brand new pencil case, and king-size Kit Kat bars. And whenever he decided, today's the day, his friends knew the drill. Their job was to take the printed out sheets and to paste them all around the school. These posters would say stuff like, pop-up store, band hallway, 12:15 p.m. No items, no prices, it's just a mystery. So people would show up and they would wonder what he had that day. He'd open his backpack, he would lay everything out on the floor in front of him like a frickin' street vendor, and he would just begin selling these things. Candy gone, shoes sold, Labubus flying off the shelf. When the inventory ran out, he would pack up and go back to class or something. He would tear the posters down and he would disappear until the next random day that he felt like doing this. He made $350 in 3 weeks until the principal finally connected the dots, saw the poster one day, went to the meeting spot, and shut this all down for good. But hey, you gotta respect the hustle. This kid missed English class, first period. And he shows up to second period like nothing happened. People were wondering where he was. One of his friends leans in and asked, yo, why'd you miss English class? We turned in our essays today. And the kid just goes, oh, my cow was giving birth. Oh. He says it like it's the most normal thing ever. He still had mud on his boots. There was like hay coming out of his pockets, and he smelled a little weird. It was probably from that cow birth. People just nodded like, okay, yeah, farm kid stuff.
Okay.
And so what if he missed English, you know? His essay wasn't going to win any awards at the state fair anyway, but his cow might. Huh? Okay. This kid finds a wallet while he's walking into school, right there in the grass. Yo, wallet. He opens it. $500 in cash. Wow. Crisp. It's taunting him. His brain goes into panic mode. I want it. I mean, of course I want it. But it's not right. What do I do? I'll hold on to it for now. I'll decide later. So he puts the money back inside the wallet, he puts the wallet into his backpack, and he spends the next 2 periods sweating like he's hiding a frickin' body. In third period, there's a substitute. I will be your sub today. He says something. I'm having a rough day, guys. I lost my wallet before school this morning, so let's just get through class. Kyle's soul leaves his body. He's thinking to himself, I can just keep it. He'll never know I have it. But he knows it's wrong. And then he thinks, wait, if I turn it in, he might be so happy he'll give me some of the money. Yeah, that's probably the better idea, right? Hey, I found this outside school today. I'm pretty sure it's yours. The sub doesn't really do anything. He snatches that wallet out of his hands. Go take your seat. Okay. And that was that. He didn't get any money, but at least he did the right thing, right? So this kid gets invited to a birthday party by accident. Oh boy. Oh nice. I'm invited. He has the same name as the kid who was supposed to be invited. So on the day of the party, he shows up to the door holding a gift. Oh, hey, you're not the one we were supposed to invite. Oh, honey, we can just let him stay, right? No, I think he should probably leave. It's okay. I'll go. Right as he turns away and was about to leave, he hears a voice from the hallway. There's a problem. This dude steps out of the bathroom. He's pale. The toilet's clogged, and it's clogged bad. The dad's like, no, don't worry, I'll handle it. Just give me a minute or two. No, like, the water's rising, and it won't stop. At this point, the kids and the parents are swarming the hallway. They're watching this water rise slowly, about to overflow. Parents are panicking, kids are screaming. The dad rushes in and he tries plunging. It's not working. He flushes again. Horrible idea. Water now begins to spill over. Oh my God, get the towels. Now the shy kid that was invited on accident watches all this happen, and then he says, everybody stop. Give me a minute. He goes to the kitchen. He grabs a large spoon, like this super long ladle. He takes the plunger from the dad. He goes into the bathroom and he shuts the door. He was in there for 5 minutes. Everyone's sitting outside waiting. It's completely silent. All you hear is swishing and plunging. What's happening? Milk. After 5 minutes, he steps out, calm, completely unfazed. We're good. Toilet's fine. Everything's settled. And I cleaned the floor as well. Hold on. Let me see. Wow. The dad tests the toilet. It works. And it's spotless in here. And everyone starts cheering. The kid's then like, all right, I guess I'll go now. No, you're staying. You're a freaking legend. The kid stayed and they had a great time. He made a lot of new friends that day. And he really did leave a legend.
একটু পরে ওরা বাইরে হয় কারা রূপা রূপা কি যে অপরূপ লাগতেছিল এত সুন্দর হ্যাঁ
কারেন্ট চলে আসলো আম্মা এখনই ডাকবে আমি এখন আসি আপনার কেমন লাগছে কালকে খেলা
সুন্দর খুব সুন্দর ঢাকা এলো কথা বললে যদি একটু ভালো লাগে আর কি আরে মনটা যে কি খারাপ
খরচ সব মিলে 500 টাকা পড়বে ফিক্সড
500 টাকা একটা কার্ডের দাম 500 টাকা
200 টাকা দিলেই হবে ঈদের পর দিয়ে দিব
কি করবে এত টাকা দিয়ে
একটা
আমি আর পারবো না আমার কাছে আর নাই তোর বাবার কাছে গিয়ে চা
বাবারে তুমি গিয়ে বলো
গুছাতে গিয়ে এটা পেয়েছি এটা কি
যে বাচ্চাদের হাতে এর বেশি টাকা দেয়া যাবে না তাছাড়া তোকে তো কয়েকদিন আগে গিটার কিনে দিল
আচ্ছা শোন না মন কি ভালো হয়েছে গান সুন্দর তোমার
ও আমি তো আগে গান শিখতাম কেমন কেমন বোকা বোকা
দেখ রূপা আমার ভাইকে নিয়ে একটাও বাজে কথা বলবে না
আপনাকে আরেকটা কার্ড দেখাই এই দেখেন সুন্দর না
আচ্ছা তোর টাকা লাগবে তুই আমাকে কেন বললি না
খুব মনে বলে টাকা দিতি আমি চাই নাই তোমার মন খারাপ হোক
এইটা এখন আমাকে বিশ্বাস করতে হবে তোমার ভাইয়ের যে একটা বন্ধু আছে না অয়ন ভাই উনি অনেক চালাক আছে অনেক স্মার্ট এই আপু 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 শুনো 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 তুমি রাগ করলা
তুমি যদি
একটু পড়ো।
আপনাকে ঈদের শুভেচ্ছা।
ধন্যবাদ।
টপো দাঁড়া।
মেয়েটা দেখছিস?
কোন মেয়েটা?
তোদের বাসার দোতলায় আসছে।
মা মোম দিয়ে যাও না।
আরে আসতেছি রে বাবা।
আপনার গান শুনে ছাদে আসলাম। আপনি গিটার বাজান বল।
কি দিল এটা? 100 টাকা? আমি তো চাইছিলাম। তোর মন খারাপ এটা? তুই কি আসার আগে জানতি না আসার পর জানছস?
সাদা ওড়না, কপালে ছোট্ট একটা টিপ, রোদের আলো।
এদিকে আয়, তুই আয়। আরে
আজ বেলাতে তোমার সুরে সুরে।
এই বিকালে মাঠে আসবি তো? ফয়সাল আসছিল, ঈদের পরে কক্সবাজার যাওয়ার প্ল্যান করতেছে।
তোমার গার্লফ্রেন্ডের এমন একটা তোতা টাইপের ছেলের সাথে বিয়ে হোক যে এক লাইন কথা বলতে যে 1 মাইল লম্বা করে কথা বলে।
কালকেই রেস্টুরেন্টে বিয়ের প্রপোজাল দিব। অনেক দূর ভাইব বালাইছে কিন্তু মনে
আর আমাকে দেখছো, আমার রূপ দেখছো, লাবণ্য দেখছো, আমার যৌবন দেখছো।
টেনশন করবি না, বুঝছো? মনে কর যে চামড়া ভেদ করে রগে গিয়ে 4টা
ছাড় আমাকে, ছাড়। কে আছেন ভাইয়া? বাঁচান আমাকে, ছাড়। এই সন্তানটা আমাকে মারছে।
সবাই আমার ছেড়ে চলে যায়।
বাবু
হ্যাঁ দিছে তোরে, মানুষের হাতে মাইর খাওয়াই দিছে, এটা ভালো হয়েছে না?
লাগছে একটু
কষ্ট। ঘুমের ওষুধ যে কিনছিলি এগুলা
পিয়া পিয়া পিয়া
তুই কেন মৃত্যুর আগে চিরকুট লিখে গেলি না? একটা চিরকুটের লেখা যাইতা যে আমার মৃত্যুর কারণে এই পৃথিবীতে কেউ দায়ী না। তুই তুই কি তুই মইরা যা।
রক্তিম হয়ে রে।
পিয়ার জন্য বাজি মানে পিয়া কি করছে?
আমি পিয়াকে বিয়ে করব।
ধরো না প্লিজ, ধরো বেবি, ধরো।
I love you.